The fluorescent lights flickered in the downtown martial arts center. The sound of fists pounding heavy bags echoed through the dojo, mingling with the sharp barks of instructors and the rhythmic creak of bodies moving across polished wooden floors. It was a typical Wednesday evening. Students buzzed around in crisp white GIs, adjusting their belts and trading laughs. That's when Troy Bennett, local martial arts prodigy, arrogant black belt, and regional tournament champion, spotted him, the janitor, a tall, quiet black man pushing a mop in the corner. He always showed up after sunset, like clockwork, kept his head down, never spoke unless spoken to. No one knew his name. To most, he was just the janitor. To Troy, he was invisible, until that night. "Hey!" Troy called out, wiping sweat from his brow after a light sparring session. "You ever throw a punch in your life, old man?" Heads turned. Conversations paused. Even the music stopped mid-beat. The janitor looked up, slowly, calmly. His eyes, deep and unreadable, met Troy's with an unsettling stillness. "I asked you something," Troy smirked, walking toward him. "You look strong for a janitor. Want to spar? You know, for fun?" The room went silent. The janitor placed the mop against the wall. No expression, no hesitation. He nodded. His name was Elijah Cole. He was in his late 40s, tall with wide shoulders, graying at the temples and hands calloused like stone. He didn't wear gloves when he cleaned, never rushed his work, always whistled softly, blues melodies that seemed older than time. Nobody knew where he came from. The gym owner, Mr. Simmons, said Elijah had walked in 2 years ago asking if the place needed help. Said he didn't care about pay, just wanted to be around discipline again. Discipline? Nobody asked more. But that night, when Elijah stepped barefoot onto the mat, everything changed. Troy bounced on his heels, smirking at the amused crowd. His black belt gleamed under the lights. He was cocky, fast, and brutal, had 5 knockouts under his belt from recent competitions. No one ever lasted more than a minute in sparring with him. He assumed this would be easy, a joke. "All right, old man, no hard feelings, just fun," Troy said, adjusting his stance. Elijah didn't respond. He just raised his hands, not like a beginner, but like a man who'd been here before, many times. The bell clanged. Someone had jokingly hit the ring bell. Troy lunged forward with a quick jab combination, testing the janitor's reflexes. What happened next would be talked about for years. Elijah didn't flinch. Instead, he slid, like water flowing around stone. His body shifted just an inch, perfectly timed, and Troy's punches hit nothing but air. The crowd gasped. Troy frowned, then threw a spinning kick. Elijah ducked, effortlessly, and tapped Troy's thigh with 2 fingers. No power, just a reminder. "I could have hurt you." Troy blinked. He didn't understand, but something in his gut twisted. This wasn't just a janitor. The hidden past words spread fast. Phones came out. Videos started rolling. Coach Ramirez leaned over to Simmons and whispered, "Who is he?" Simmons just shook his head. "No idea." But Elijah knew exactly what he was doing. Every movement was minimal, efficient, quiet. No wasted motion. Every parry, every sidestep, every glance had years of muscle memory behind it. This wasn't luck. This was mastery. Humiliated, Troy snarled and charged again, this time with real speed, real power. But Elijah had already shifted. With a single motion, he caught Troy's wrist mid-punch, twisted it gently, almost lovingly, and sent the black belt to the ground. Troy landed hard. Everyone gasped. Troy scrambled up, red-faced, embarrassed. "Lucky shot," he growled. He launched a flurry of kicks, faster now. Elijah didn't move for several seconds, then suddenly stepped in, closing the gap. He elbowed Troy's strike aside, pivoted behind him, and lightly tapped the back of his neck. Again, he didn't strike, but he could have ended the match. Again. The gym was stunned. Who was this man? Later that night, as the gym emptied out, Simmons found Elijah sitting alone, lacing his old boots. "You're not just a janitor," Simmons said. Elijah looked up, smiled softly. "Number Y used to fight. Long time ago." "Where?" "Different places. Army, underground, even trained with the old masters in Kyoto. But that was another life." Simmons paused. "Why here?" Elijah stood, his voice calm. "Because I made mistakes, hurt people, walked away. I'm not here to fight anymore, just to be close to something good." The black belt returns, but Troy couldn't let it go. The next week he returned, with cameras, reporters, a crowd. He called Elijah out again, this time publicly. "Let's go, right now. Real rules, real fight." The gym protested, but Elijah agreed. One last time. The mat was cleared. People stood shoulder to shoulder, whispers spreading like wildfire. The fight began. Troy was faster, stronger. He had trained all week just to beat the janitor. But Elijah was calmer, and calm always beats rage. The older man didn't dominate. He dismantled. Step by step, move by move, he took Troy apart. Not with power, but precision. He read his moves before they came, redirected strikes, countered aggression with stillness. And in the end, he disarmed Troy completely, locking him gently, respectfully to the ground. Then he let go. Didn't boast, didn't say a word. He just walked away. After the match, a reporter finally tracked Elijah down. They ran a background check. The truth shocked everyone. Elijah Cole was once known as the Phantom, a legendary underground fighter in Europe and Asia during the late 90s. Undefeated, mysterious. Vanished after a controversial death match ended with a broken opponent and a broken heart. No one had seen him since, until now. The video of his match with Troy went viral. Millions watched in awe. But Elijah never returned to the spotlight. He kept mopping floors, fixing leaks, whistling blues under his breath. And when people asked why he did it, he simply said, "Sometimes power is knowing when not to use it." The video of Elijah dismantling Troy spread like wildfire. News outlets labeled him the janitor who silenced a champion. But Elijah didn't care. He kept cleaning floors, humming blues, and staying out of the spotlight. Troy, however, couldn't let it go. The humiliation festered, but so did something else. Respect. He began watching Elijah's movements in silence. The calmness, the control. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen. And one night, standing outside the gym, Troy finally asked, "Will you teach me?" Elijah looked at him for a long time, then nodded. Training began at 5 a.m. No punches, no kicks, just chores, discipline, patience. Troy hated it until he realized what was changing wasn't just his body, it was his mind. One morning, Elijah finally stepped on the mat with him. No words, just movement. And for the first time, Troy didn't fight to win. He fought to understand. Weeks later, a letter arrived. An international fight promoter had seen the viral video and offered Elijah a chance to face the undefeated Viktor Dragovich in Vegas. A brutal, dishonorable fighter. $1 million purse. Everyone begged Elijah to accept. The world wanted the Phantom to return, but he said no, until he showed up one night and tossed Troy a pair of gloves. "They want to fight?" he said. "Then give them one." Troy stared at him. "Me? You're ready," Elijah said. The arena was roaring, lights blinding, cameras everywhere. In the front row, Elijah sat still, like a stone. Troy faced Victor, a monster in the ring. First round, brutal. Troy got hammered. Second round, Elijah's voice echoed in his head. "Be still." Let him exhaust himself. Troy stayed calm. Then at the perfect moment, he dodged, spun, and landed a clean elbow to Victor's jaw. Knockout. The arena exploded. Troy had won. As cameras swarmed, reporters begged for the secret. Troy pointed to the stands. Elijah Cole, the man who taught me everything. But Elijah, gone. He'd slipped out the back, quiet as always. Back at the gym, Troy started teaching, and on the wall hung a plaque that read, "True power is silent. True strength is controlled." Elijah Cole. And the janitor still mopped the floors, still whistled the blues, but to those who knew, he was no janitor. He was a legend in disguise.